I would love the opportunity to tell my sister's story to the palace because when you see somebody face to face, I mean, it's one thing to see somebody on a camera, but when you see them face to face, we could really express that emotion and really get across the story that not only she holds, but also so many survivors out there. And if the king is saying he stands with survivors and their victims, then meet with us, have a conversation with us. We're real people with real stories that can affect real change. And I think my sister did something unprecedented that says advocacy can affect change. Advocacy can lead to justice. And it may take a long time, but I would welcome that conversation with the king with open arms. I'd be in London tomorrow. He's setting a precedent to the rest of the world to say, I do stand with survivors. I am going to hold even my brother to account. But it's still it's not enough in the sense that he's still walking around a free man. I mean, let's not be naive that he's not going to be living on the side of the road here. He's still in a very, let's say, cush spot where he should be. He should be investigated. Let's put it that way. And I think that our government, to Amanda's point, is safeguarding these documents. They have it locked away in this little Pandora's box of people that are implicated, and we need to fully investigate them because Prince Andrew is just one of many that need to be investigated thoroughly. And so I think the king should put pressure on our government. He should put pressure on President Trump. He should tell President Trump verbatim, President Trump, put your big boy pants on and let's get these Epstein files released so that we can go after these monsters.
Giuffre family reacts after King Charles strips Prince Andrew of title. Right. Before we dive into one of the most emotionally charged responses to royal accountability in modern history, hit that subscribe button and ring the notifications bell because UK Informate is bringing you the human side of this scandal that the palace would rather you forget, and you absolutely need to hear what comes next. So King Charles has finally done it. After years of scandal, public pressure, and institutional hand-wringing, he has stripped his brother Andrew of his prince title over his alleged connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew is no longer Prince Andrew, Duke of York. He is just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, a man without royal styling, evicted from his mansion, stripped of the identity that defined his entire existence. For the monarchy, this represents decisive action after years of protective inaction. But for the Giuffre family, whose daughter Virginia accused Andrew of sexual assault and fought for accountability until her tragic death by suicide in April, this moment means something entirely different. This is vindication. This is validation. This is the institution finally admitting, however reluctantly, that their daughter was telling the truth. And their response to Charles's decision is absolutely gut-wrenching. Let us talk about Virginia Giuffre for a moment, because her courage is what made this entire reckoning possible. She was an ordinary American girl from an ordinary American family who made allegations against one of the most protected men in the world, a prince of the British royal family. She faced disbelief, public scrutiny, legal battles, and institutional resistance that would have broken most people. Andrew claimed never to have met her, despite photographic evidence suggesting otherwise. He gave that disastrous Newsnight interview where he claimed he could not sweat and spent the evening in question at Pizza Express in Woking. The palace machinery worked overtime to discredit her, protect him, and make the whole scandal disappear. But Virginia never stopped fighting. She pursued a civil case that ended in a multi-million-pound settlement. She continued speaking out even when it would have been easier to stay silent. And then, tragically, she died by suicide at 41, never getting to see the full accountability she fought so hard to achieve. So when King Charles finally stripped Andrew of his titles, the Giuffre family released a statement that captures both triumph and heartbreak in equal measure. They said that an ordinary American girl, from an ordinary American family, brought down a British prince with her truth and extraordinary courage. Read that again. Brought down a British prince, not with political power or institutional backing or royal connections, but with truth and courage. That is genuinely one of the most powerful statements about accountability and justice you will ever read. It acknowledges the staggering imbalance of power between Virginia and Andrew while simultaneously celebrating her victory over a system designed to protect him at all costs. Virginia's brother, Sky Roberts, told CNN that the day of Charles's announcement was simultaneously joyous and happy and sad. That emotional complexity is absolutely devastating. Joyous because justice was finally served. Happy because the institution acknowledged wrongdoing. Sad because Virginia is not here to witness it. She fought for this moment for years, endured public attacks on her credibility, faced legal battles that drained her emotionally and financially, and never got to see the man she accused lose everything she said he should lose. The vindication came too late for her to experience it, which transforms this moment of accountability into something bittersweet and tragic. Roberts also said this represents an acknowledgement to say, "We believe you. We see you." For survivors of abuse, particularly those who have accused powerful people and faced institutional disbelief, those words matter enormously. The British monarchy, an institution over 1,000 years old, has effectively sided with Virginia Giuffre over one of its own princes. That is unprecedented. That is seismic. For decades, the palace protected Andrew, minimized allegations, and hoped public attention would move elsewhere. Charles's decision to strip his brother's titles represents a complete reversal of that approach. It says, loudly and publicly, that the institution believes the accuser over the accused royal. That sends a message to every survivor who has ever been told their claims against powerful people would not be believed or acted upon. The Giuffre family statement went further, declaring that Virginia never stopped fighting for accountability for what had happened to her and to countless other survivors like her. Today, she declares victory. The phrase, declares victory, is particularly poignant because Virginia cannot literally declare anything. She is gone. But her family is declaring it on her behalf, claiming this outcome as the achievement she worked toward her entire adult life. They are ensuring her fight is recognized as successful, that her courage produced tangible results, and that her legacy includes bringing accountability to someone the system was designed to protect. But the family made clear this is not the end of their fight. They vowed to not rest until the same accountability applies to all of the abusers and abettors connected to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That is a direct challenge to every person who enabled, facilitated, or participated in Epstein's crimes. Andrew is not the only powerful person connected to Epstein. There are others, business people, politicians, socialites, celebrities, who maintained relationships with him despite knowing or suspecting what he was. The Giuffre family is putting everyone on notice that Virginia's fight continues through them, and they will pursue accountability wherever it leads. What makes the family's response so powerful is that it refuses to let this moment be sanitized or depoliticized. The palace would prefer everyone view this as a discrete administrative action. Titles removed, matter resolved, time to move on. But the Giuffre family is making certain everyone understands this as what it actually is: a survivor forcing institutional accountability through relentless courage despite overwhelming odds. They are ensuring Virginia's name remains attached to this outcome, that her story is centered in the narrative, and that her victory over Andrew is recognized as exactly that. Her victory, achieved through her determination against a system designed to defeat her. Roberts' comment that his sister should be here to witness this moment is absolutely heartbreaking. She should be giving interviews, celebrating this outcome, feeling vindicated for years of fighting. Instead, her family does it on her behalf, carrying forward her mission whilst grieving her absence. The tragedy of timing, that accountability came months too late, casts a shadow over what should be an unambiguous moment of justice. Yes, Andrew has been stripped of his titles. Yes, the institution finally acted. But Virginia Giuffre, the person whose courage made this possible, never got to see it happen. That loss transforms this story from simple accountability into something far more complicated and emotionally devastating. For King Charles, stripping his brother's titles was likely the hardest decision of his reign so far. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We will catch you in the next one.